What's great about science fiction for me is two words, what if? And I love that we go into the what if this actually happened? How would you deal with it? How can you learn about it? How are you going to survive?
There was an element of me setting the tone for the character because he's the younger person, and my dad had more work to do than I did, honestly, of like trying to look at the things that I did. But there was some stuff that we worked on together in terms of looks and our faces and makeup. I learned I didn't look as much like my dad as I thought.
It talks a lot about like the choices that the older generation makes and then how that affects the younger generation. And so in a way, it's really what we go through in this non-monster world. So I think people are going to be able to really relate to our characters, yeah. It's such a big thing in Japan, so you just kind of grow up with it. It's like Mickey Mouse. I was like, oh my God, I get to be part of that universe. Like it's huge and it's so iconic.
I was about 8, and I think I was in the back seat of my mom and dad's car, probably at a drive-in movie theater. And something about Godzilla, when the first time I saw Godzilla, I never forgot it.
And you can't look high enough. The higher you look, the bigger the monster's going to be. So if they need the monster to be bigger, they just say, you got to look higher.
Before we shoot, they usually show us a thing called, is it previs? And so we get an idea of what it's going to look like. So, you can imagine that. But then always, every scene that I've, watched, I'm like, it looks like that? Like, that's so much scarier. But, yeah, it's always a surprise.
In this second season, there are answers to questions that were set up in one, and there are more questions that come out of those answers.
We've all seen love triangles in movies and TV before, but we've never seen one like this.
Yeah, and I think that's the special recipe of our show. It's very deep, complex relationships with big emotionality, but then on the other hand, you have this incredibly action-packed spectacle. And we're so excited to share it with all of you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Keanu Reeves. Thank you. Hold for applause. Beat, beat. Third beat if the room is really into it.
We're so excited to talk about our new movie, Outcome, coming to Apple TV. It's directed by the smartest and most handsome person I know, Jonah Hill.
I agree. Jonah Hill is the most handsome, talented, and tall person that I know, and I know them all.
I also think Jonah Hill is the best director and smartest and best-looking person.
Today's not about me, okay? Today is about the movie we all made called Outcome and how amazing all of you are in it. Keanu plays arguably the world's biggest movie star named Reef Hawk, who is hiding dark secrets about his life that would ruin his perfect career.
His best friends since high school, that's myself and Matt Bomer, are always, along for the ride because it's exciting.
The movie uses fame in Hollywood as a metaphor for what we all go through living on social media. Social media has made us obsessed with what people we don't know think of us instead of caring about what the people who know us best think of us. And thank you to our dear friends at Apple for letting us make this funny, human, and emotional film. You are incredible partners.
And Point Break would have been way better if you were the guy in it instead of me.
And
same with Speed.
Your Friends and Neighbors, it's about love and sex and marriage and death and how little we really know about our own neighbors, friends, and even our families.
A disruptor lands in the community, and that is our jumping off point for season 2 as well.
As you can see, he's not a subtle guy. He kind of steps into this world and turns some heads with his behavior, always running at 100 miles an hour.
We're kind of seeing how people really don't learn their lessons and things just get darker and messier. And the central theme of how precarious wealth and privilege is and how one scandal or tragedy can just make everything disappear.
Mel is transgressing and getting in fights with people and having all manner of menopausal rage, which I can't relate to at all.
There's an honesty that, in the end, it's like if you strip away the veneer of the folks in Westmont Village, like maybe we're all made of the same stuff.
I always love stories where somebody's living a double life, and especially in a really incestuous town. And I think season 2 just amplifies the amount of people who know that he's living a double life.
And so we look for things to anchor us, but we are constantly changing as well in some small way, and our relationships are shifting.
When there's a success in the first season, the challenge is, okay, now you did that, now do it again, but do it better. And Jonathan rose to the challenge.
The first season was super juicy. The second season just feels so much more juicy.
You guys keep getting renewed before your season premieres.
You know, when I first got my hands on these scripts, the question I had in the back of my mind the whole time was, what would I do if this was happening to me? If you got blackmailed? Paula has to navigate in this series. When she starts chatting online with a cam boy, she finally feels seen and they have a connection, and then things suddenly and quickly get out of hand when she is blackmailed. And when her family is threatened, that is the final straw. She is the messy, petty, clever divorcee Paula, and Maximum Pleasure Guaranteed is a darkly comedic thriller that truly does not let up.
I wanted to write a show about someone who's going through the seconds in life, not the first. We're channeling like Hitchcock, where a normal person gets pulled in some like crazy abnormal world.
It is totally weird and different and modern, and it's really, really good.
Is what Paula's going through. She's trying to balance all these different expectations of her. She's a mother, she works full time, and she has an ex-husband. A scene can play straight, and it can play comedic, and it can play all things between.
One of the most unique things about it is this camboy element, Mr. Camboy over
Woo!
here. Hell yeah.
I'm an actor. That's like kind of by definition a camboy in some ways. My job was really just to show up and play the scene earnestly, which for the most part was really like, he's a good guy. He's just listening. And Trevor actually is a really good actor.
Well, I wanted to be the camboy. I auditioned, David had me take my shirt off, and then I got the ex-husband. I honestly think it was the scripts. It felt so rich.
Every character feels very complex. Everyone's kind of good and bad.
Okay, let's do some audience questions. If I can figure out how to do it, which will be easy with this amazing interface of this iPad. Thank you, Apple. Oh, you guys
You
want to talk about your...
are killing it.
Thank you, I'm trying. What's your favorite iOS 26 feature, by the way?
Working with Nola, who plays my daughter Hazel in the show. Oh, there's Paula's heart externalized. And like, this is the sort of humor that these two share, and this is why she is fighting so hard for her life.
I don't do, 98% of what's going on my wife's side and the mom's side of it. And I really just thought that'd be much more interesting from an isolated mom's point of view.
This guy is so good at acting and hosting this panel, holy moly.
Yes.
I actually feel incredibly lucky, no pun intended, when I get to collaborate with people at the top of their games like you get to do here at Apple TV. And this one really clicked for me on every level. Lucky is named for the protagonist, who's a fierce and complex woman named Lucky Armstrong, played really to perfection by Anya Taylor-Joy. Timothy Oliphant plays her conman father, Jon Armstrong, who raised her to be a survivor in a world she really never asked to be a part of. When Marissa Stapley was writing her novel, she said she was actually channeling you and picturing you as Lucky. You really jumped in with both feet, not just as the actor, but also as an executive producer.
I felt so much empathy for a woman that just couldn't sit still and desperately wanted a place to put down roots.
We really bonded over this idea of what if the thing that she's running from is like literally in her blood? And that was sort of the central question of the series. Our pilot begins in Vegas. It embodies the con, the glitter, the lights, the promise.
Being in Las Vegas, we trauma bonded really, really hard.
Annette Bening is one of the greatest actors ever.
Yeah.
What moment with Annette on or off set made you feel lucky to work with such a signature talent?
Every moment.
She's moment to moment, totally unpredictable, and she has a willingness to embarrass herself.
And she came in with such joy.
This father-daughter relationship of a con artist who raises his daughter in the likeness and image of himself. That's the heartbeat of the show. And there's action, but there's never action just for the sake of action. There's always something deeply emotionally connected to the action.
It was such a moving experience. You kind of just hope that translates.
It's your worst nightmare. The phone rings in the middle of the night, and it's your best friend's husband. He says, she didn't come home last night. Do you know where she is? So begins Imperfect Women, a psychological thriller that examines a murder that shatters the lives of a decades-long friendship between three women. Adapted from the best-selling novel by Araminta Hall, Imperfect Women stars and is executive produced by Elisabeth Moss and Kerry Washington alongside Kate Mara.
The idea of being able to talk about female friendship in a way that isn't often done. The things that are irreplaceable, but the things that are also a little darker.
I was like, oh my goodness, this is such an extraordinary chance to dive into what secrets look like in relationship and sort of the difference between who we really are and who we present ourselves to be, even with the people we're most intimate with. That is a theme that I keep returning to in my work and in my life, and I just thought I'd never seen it explored in female friendship in this way.
Kerry and I have known each other forever, since we were teenagers. And we've never had the opportunity to work together. For me, it was a no-brainer because I was able to work with two actors that I admire so much.
I like to think of it like a supergroup because each of you is such a rock star who can carry a show in your own right, but to get to work as an ensemble, that's really thrilling.
We are three actors who love playing complicated characters, and these were characters that had built-in complexity.
I really love playing like the friendship that happens over here when you're not around and the friendship that happens over here when you're not around.
So nothing really happens. Everything just kind of stays the same and perfect.
One of the big changes was we obviously moved the book from England, not only to America, but here to Southern California.
To shoot here after the fires last year was so meaningful to the city and meaningful to us and our crew.
Let's talk about some of the imperfect men in the series.
Yes! They're perfectly imperfect.
It was first choices across the board. Oh my God.
Dream cast.
They're all brilliant actors. They don't look so bad, which is nice for us and you. I think you'll find them as like complicated and multi-dimensional as the female characters. It's a pretty powerful ensemble.
And the commonality of being women in this industry and moms has created a big bond between you guys.
I love these girls. When I was watching the edit, I just kept thinking, you really see the genuine connections. We could be really naked and raw with each other because we were like half in love with each other and half intimidated by each other.
There was a comfort that you really can't fake.
It's really a redemptive story in the end.
And if they just felt like they weren't going to be judged or trusted the other person, none of this would happen.
Sugar is a clever take on one of the most popular and well-trodden genres known to man, the private detective story. Starring Golden Globe winner Colin Farrell as Private Eye John Sugar, The series is a meta love letter to movie stars and the city that made them. It delves deep into the underbelly of contemporary Los Angeles, exposing gritty truths and our shared humanity. Those are just a few things that drew me to the show.
I love Los Angeles. It's a very accepting city in many ways. You can be whatever you want to be here, which is obviously the ideal place for somebody who's not from this planet to come and design this whole character. He walks a certain way, dresses a certain way, the car, it's all so bespoke. But over the last 23 years of living here, I have grown to love it more and more and more, and it'll never make sense to me as a city. It's so multifaceted, it's got such personality, but it's not really exposed too much in television or film anymore. The folks at Apple that I worked with were incredibly supportive. It feels like a really big family, and then you came on for the second season. I did my first American film with him.
It all started in 1999 at the Mark Hotel with a fight, with a brawl. Where are we going to find Sugar in season 2?
Sugar, for my money, he kind of is always angling towards optimism. Yeah. He's always angling towards the beauty that he sees in human beings, and he's well versed in the rage and the violence and the greed. He has a sister who has disappeared, and he has no idea. He has tried, he has turned over every rock. He has looked in every corner of the globe for where she might be, and he's never been able to find her, and that's what he does, is return people who are missing to those who have loved them and lost them. This time we have two brothers, two immigrants from Korea who one of them has gone missing. That's the kind of primary case. And then there's also the quest to try and find out what happened to his sister.
It's noisy, disruptive. It's showing up in spaces where it doesn't belong, challenging long-held societal norms. What am I describing? Is it?
It's just pickleball, everybody. That's it.
Or it could be punk rock music, the Sex Pistols, Johnny Rotten.
It's not. It's pickleball. We made a movie about pickleball, and it's called The Dink.
What could possibly be more punk rock than that?
Literally anything. Pickleball is not a cool sport, but, sorry, it isn't, Mary. But Andy Roddick is actually in the movie, and that is cool.
Okay, and so is Ben Stiller, who produced it. Yep. And cool Ed Harris.
And we got Patton Oswalt, Chloe Fineman, Chris Parnell.
And it was written by Sean Clemens and directed by Josh Greenbaum.
So whether you love pickleball or you hate it with a passion, we think you're going to love our movie, The Dink. It's great, and it comes out July 24th.
This season, we have a really nice story arc.
I love what has been written. We don't get scripts in advance. A strange pleasure not to know and to trust that what's going to be there will be sufficient.
The writer's room is by far the star of the show. And you can't say that standing next to Harrison Ford anywhere else in the world.
What do you guys really say about Jason Segel when he's not around?
There's nothing wrong with that guy. He's such a kind dude. There is no better quarterback. There is no better team captain.
We have a set that is so unusual that it shows up on camera, and it's a magical place.
The kind of work that we're able to do, I think, is remarkable, given the tools we have to work with. The notion that lies behind this series. And I just, if it was all over here, that would be sufficient for me. This has been a different kind of job for me, and I've been doing this, as you know, for a long time. And this is very special for me. And it really nurtures me and makes me feel like what we're doing has value and importance. And I look for that in my life. and I'm happy to have found it here.
Being a kid today is not easy.
No, it's not. And being an adult is not much easier. Based on the best-selling book series of the same name by Jocko here, who we love, which has inspired so many kids and their parents to work harder, push themselves further, and become leaders in their community.
I couldn't find anything that really conveyed the principles that I wanted them to have, and so I wrote my own books. And luckily for me, the books were very successful, and as more people read the books, more people asked me when these things are gonna get made into a movie, and I was very lucky to link up with Chris and McG, who I think understood really, above all else, that this movie needed to stick to and convey those principles and fundamentals that were in the book.
I've been a fan from afar, respecting not only his military career, but the things he's had to say, his points of view, the inspiration for my character. Jake, he's a super disciplined Navy SEAL, recently wounded in battle, and while he recovers from his combat injuries and his bruised ego, he moves in with these two.
And I play Sarah. Her son, who's played by the wonderful Jude Hill here, Mark, he's really struggling. He doesn't have his dad anymore, and school and life is just getting hard for him. And he's trying to just get through the day without flunking or getting bullied, but it's tough.
It's like this generation's Karate Kid, with an inspiring message that we can all connect to. If you've ever felt weak or bullied or unsure of where your life is going,
being a woman is all about problem solving. And if you are a woman from a dysfunctional family struggling to pay rent with a new baby, you gotta get creative. I wanted readers to know Margo completely, to feel the optimism of her youth and her hopes and dreams of being a writer. Everything she's ever wanted is within her grasp. But then comes the plummet. She's left holding the bag after getting pregnant by her professor, who quickly exits the picture.
I read the book and fell in love with it. Elle owned Margo, I think, before I even picked up a pen. And the actress there in the middle, who I vowed never to work with, when I read the book, I could only see one person playing it. The whole cast has been amazing, and it's just been a joy to do.
There's a lot of sadness, there's heartbreak, but there's huge amounts of levity and comedy.
Your book and then the adaptation of it, I think this is really inspiring. This is sublime art. Can I be up to it?
From the first table read, I was completely starstruck. Honestly, we just had fun every day. Most of the characters in the piece are grappling with the person that they dreamed of becoming versus the person that they have become to survive.
If you can drive it, chances are Matchbox has built a tiny version of it.
Mattel teamed up with Apple and Skydance to bring to life a high-octane story inspired by everything we love about its iconic Matchbox vehicles.
Matchbox the movie follows a group of childhood friends with a shared love of Matchbox vehicles.
And as adults, they've lost touch with each other. But fate brings them back together for an epic thrill ride.
Fate? Really?
Okay. Not fate. No. One of them is a worker for the Black Ops and the CIA contractor.
And
he may or may not have just stolen a nuclear warhead.
this is a film for the whole family that never lets up and never pumps the brakes.
When I was sitting in my pajamas on my laptop in a small room, I didn't imagine the reception the books would receive. And I certainly didn't imagine I'd be standing here today getting to thank all these wonderful people.
At the very end of season 1, we've jumped 5 years, and in season 2, we pick up in exactly that same moment.
Did you not realize you were writing one of the great cliffhangers of all time?
Owen shows up, and then leaves and you don't know, did they see each other again? Why did he show up? What could it mean? All of that is answered and more.
I loved playing Carol, to work with Jennifer because she's so inspiring on so many levels. We explore what I would call a form of generational trauma.
I've never gotten to play a role like Quinn.
A lot of season 2 is realizing that your parents are also just people.
That performer, Saul, the last time I fought him was in the Kingdom, and he told me to do anything I could to survive, and I bit his ear, and we have a picture of him missing a chunk of ear. 20 years later, we went for it in a way that the crew was like, can you be careful with her? I was like, no, 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 no. Just back out of the way.
Can we just go over that again? You bit a piece of his ear
Like
off?
Mike Tyson.
That is total Mike Tyson.
They bring these books to such a second life. We hope you love the show.
Cape Fear is the story of Anna and Tom Bowden, two happily married lawyers whose perfect life turns into a nightmare when Max Cady, a notorious killer from their past, gets out of prison and shows up to settle an old score. It has been truly an honor to build this series with Apple TV, alongside Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg, the legendary filmmakers who brought Cape Fear to the screen in 1991. The Scorsese movie scared the hell out of me as a kid, and so did the 1962 version.
Still, when I rewatched it and prepping for this, there are scenes I had to fast forward because I'm like, can't watch it, can't watch it.
I loved it. Just the big swings that Scorsese took on a cinema level.
It's swampy, it feels like a nightmare.
When I read the pilot, it captured that same fever dream energy. I mean, Javier has just such a natural charisma. On top of all of that beautiful bravado and energy and danger is this deep vulnerability. There's so much devastation in his portrayal.
You gave us all these inner lives and inner moments of conflict, the positivity and this great marriage that these characters had, because we knew that it was going to go south.
That level of terror that you would feel as a parent is what I really clung on to.
I think every good horror film is really just a family drama. As a parent, is you'll do anything for your kids, full stop.
Widow's Bay is a 3-hour ferry ride off the coast of New England. It's a cozy, idyllic town, but something leaks beneath the surface. I meant to say lurks, by the way, not leaks, but there we go. The island is haunted. Apple really encouraged us to take big creative swings here, and as the season progresses, you'll see that this was a pretty ambitious half-hour television show. And so fortunately, I had the best collaborators in the world, and I'd like to bring them out now.
I'd certainly never read anything like it.
It's a comedy horror, but it was very important to us to take it all very seriously. So there would be moments where we'd be excited about a joke, but we're like, oh, that just takes you too far out of it. We were constantly trying to find the tone and not stray off the path.
Creating this place that takes place now, but it's sort of like out of our sort of time pocket.
I'm obsessed with Jaws, Stephen King. We always talked about the show like a big stew. We had a lot of fun playing with horror tropes that we know, but celebrating them.
If you had to describe the show in 3 words.
Terrifying.
Roller coaster.
Rustic roller coaster. I think there's something to that.
Almost every script surprised me, and just getting to watch the visual mind of Hiro Murai is...
To have what's funny, but grounding it, it was a real challenge, and I think he really killed it.
I was blown away by this beautiful world that
our brilliant creator, Vince Gilligan, dreamt up, who has created a show about identity, connection, free will, and what happens when, humanity becomes one hive mind, where everyone shares the same thought. What do you have against happy people?
I hate happy people. That's why I wrote this. Probably my whole life, almost 60 years, I've been thinking, what is it about happiness? We're always chasing it. It's elusive, for some, more so for some people than others.
Your dynamic as collaborators was playing a big part and a big role in Pluribus, the success of which has made Ray a Critics' Choice Awards winner and a Golden Globes winner, by the way.
We're in the season 1, season 2 of Better Call Saul, and Ray Seahorn is just a standout. And I thought, people are going to snap her up when this thing is over, so I better act fast. So I changed the guy to a woman, started picturing Ray as I was coming up with the pilot episode, and then the rest is why we're here now.
Flatter doesn't even cut it as far as like him writing this role for me. We had a lot of fun looking for how far can you push the comedy in this direction, how far can you push the drama, feeling safe enough to try stuff.
It was just so intimidating to tackle a character that's the whole world in one person. Putting little bits and pieces together to make her come alive.
Everyone's dying to know, where are you currently in the process of writing Pluribus Season 2?
We are plugging away.
Well, we got off to a good start. F1 movie, the highest grossing movie, sports movie of all time. Brad Pitt's biggest movie of all time. Unbelievably, 4 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture. I think we're pinching ourselves.
We gave access because we understood the value of our collaboration. And as always in a marriage, you need to have something from the other. And I think that what we had immediately was the possibility of understanding the technology that was behind that. And we were able to have access to things that we're going to develop in the future of our broadcasting. And the beauty of that was also our team and drivers understood the fact that being real, it was essential to develop our sport in this context.
There was no cut, let's do that again. You get one chance, and if you don't get it, and so the team did an amazing job of I think for the first time ever, realizing what it's like to be a Formula One driver. The athletic skills that they have are unprecedented. G-forces that they take is amazing. Now we've got this upcoming season starting in just a couple of weeks in Melbourne. And I think this is a huge, significant turning point for the sport.
Couldn't have a better year to start this collaboration or this partnership because we have new regulations, we have new opportunities, I would say, new challenges, completely from scratch. We identified to use sustainable fuel, we have changed the car, we have changed the way that the driver has to manage the car itself. We have more than almost 900 million fans around the world. And we have 24 races where I would say every single event is like a Super Bowl. We're talking about 400,000, 500,000 people at the event, and of course millions are watching at us.
For the first time in the United States, if you're an F1 fan or you're becoming an F1 fan, there's a single place to watch it. It doesn't move. It's available on your iPhone, it's available on an iPad, it's available on a TV, on all the TVs, on Xbox, PlayStation. Doesn't matter what it is. It's a single place to watch practice, qualifying, sprint races, which are amazing, the race themselves, pre-race, post-race. If you've ever watched one of our Major League Baseball games, you're amazed at the quality, at the resolution that you get to see when you're watching on TV, and you're going to see that for the first time in Formula One. And so we're incredibly excited. We're going to bring some innovation to this. With one tap of a button, you can not only just watch the race, but if you're a McLaren fan, for example, you can type McLaren and you have a 4-quadrant thing appear right on your TV or your iPad or whatever device, and you'd see the race, you'd see Lando Norris, you'd see Oscar, and then you'd see the data. And it's very, very easy to do. So we've got all these new experiences. We're going to use iPhones in places that you've never been able to put a camera in. And this is just the beginning, and it's going to be an incredible, I think, partnership that we're working on together.
Apple is the best platform, not only on the technological side, but also in the way they can create the right content in terms of explaining with different angles what is the right way to connect with them. So, as I said, it's just an incredible journey that is just starting or continuing in a different way. And it's just the first step of something that hopefully going to be even bigger.
Doing the movie together, we got to see our teams working together. And what we discovered is we had a lot in common. We wanted to be the best. We wanted to be innovative. We wanted to think outside the box.
Our fan base is very young. And the US is getting even younger. And 40% is female.
The millions and millions of customers and fans that we have of Apple TV will now get Formula One for free. And we're going to bring everything from Apple behind Apple News, Apple Music, Apple Maps. There's no bigger global sport in the world, 24 events, they take place everywhere in the world. There's no sport that does that in all the different countries. The athletes themselves are from all these different countries, so it's an incredible opportunity to be a part of this.